Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. In this one, I would like to take a look at a Dark type deck for GLC. So this probably isn't the most conventional Dark type list. I mean, I say that with like Hoopa and Weavile and Galarian Weezing in the list, and Guzzlord and Spiritomb, so pretty conventional in that sense. But I have seen more lists than not online playing like Obstagoon, and I do like Obstagoon a lot, and I probably will build a Dark type list at some point that does feature one of the Obstagoons, like either this one, which is the super blurry, okay, there we go, super blurry Galarian Obstagoon with like Untamed Shout, which can spread 3 damage counters, and then Obstruct, which can just wall out basics, which is super useful. And then this Obstagoon, which I feel like is kind of underrated. It can just shut off one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks, and then Merciless Strike just does a whole bunch of damage if they're already damaged themselves. So I already got like a few deck ideas on how to make this work, but overall just wanted to do a more stage 1 basic focus deck. So you'll probably recognize a lot of these Pokemon, but the main piece, I guess, is your boy Guzzlord. Very, very happy that Guzzlord is a top tier card in GLC, just because Guzzlord was one of my favorite Pokemon to actually come out of Gen 7. So, seeing Guzzlord be successful in GLC brings me a lot of happiness. So yeah, Red Banquet for 2 dark and 2 colorless does 120 damage, and if your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from this attack, then take 1 more prize card. It is literally just Iron Hands, basically. And it's surprisingly easy to power up, because if we just look at the trainers here, we have a supporter card Raihan, which allows you to accelerate an energy, and then you can search your deck for any card. Now granted, you have to wait until one of your Pokemon gets KO'd, but it's really good in the mid to late game. Like, you don't really need Raihan early game, because you can only trigger, where is it? Beast Ring. You can only trigger Beast Ring if your opponent has exactly 3 or 4 prize cards remaining. And basically this allows you to search your deck for 2 basic energy cards and attach them to one of your Ultra Beasts, which is what Guzzlord happens to be. So, you can discard Guzzlord early game if you want to, then use Rescue Stretch Room to get him back. Then you can use Raihan, Beast Ring, and that's 3 energy off the pop, and then just manually attach 1 more is 4 energy. Alternatively, if you don't want to use Raihan, you could also just use something like a Dark Patch, so that's a nice option as well. Although admittedly, like, maybe Energy Switch could also be pretty good in this deck, but like, you don't have a lot of energy on your Pokemon anyway, so like, not super useful to be honest. But Energy Switch isn't that bad to be honest, so quite a nice option. You could also use Morpeko. Like, Morpeko's not a terrible option, I guess, to accelerate energy, but I kind of like Morpeko in here as a free retreat pivot option more than anything really. Just because one of the better attackers in this deck is Hoopa, which has the attack Assault Gate, which does 90 damage, but if it didn't move from the bench to active this turn, then it does nothing. So you have to play a lot of like switch outs and cards that just reduce your retreat cost and things, but overall a very solid card. As for some of the other key pieces, like Galarian Weezing's a huge one for the early game, especially because of the Koffing that has Ascension. So you can just like switch off all your opponent's abilities while also inflicting some good poison damage, which is good. So do like Galarian Weezing a lot. Also playing this Weavile, definitely not my favorite Weavile in GLC by a long way, but Evil Admission is a very good attack, doing 50 for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play that has an ability. Very useful. And then that's kind of it for main attackers. Like, I guess Spiritomb's pretty decent. It can be kind of potent, but usually takes like 3 or 4 turns to probably build up some sizable damage. But mainly Spiritomb is really good for like baiting out a boss play from your opponent, so like they'll get really scared of Spiritomb. And then, kind of forget that you're building up Guzzlord on the bench, or, you're building up another Pokemon basically to use. So I do like Spiritomb in that sense. It's kind of a shame it doesn't have like Dodrio's effect where you get to draw a card as well, but, it is like the basic predecessor to Dodrio, so I guess Spiritomb has to be a bit weaker in that sense. Also got Alolan Persian, which is not a card that I've seen in many GLC decks, but I do think it's quite fun. Does 90 damage and then 30 less for each basic energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So Persian and Meowth are basically your early game punch moves. So Meowth, if you go second, allows you to do 70 damage for no energy, which is really, really nice for several reasons. But it also just means that even after turn 1 going second, you could also just evolve into Persian. So if you have to go first anyway, like, Meowth's not useless, because then you can just evolve into Persian, swing for 90, probably KO an evolving basic, and then you can still commit energy to elsewhere. So really like the deck in that sense. Also got this Liepard, which basically just has the ability to trade. Once in your turn, you may discard a card to draw 2. Lovely. The only sad thing about Liepard is you can't use Level Ball to find it, which is a bit of a shame, but, I would still probably run Level Ball to be able to find, like, all the other basics and stuff. The last Pokemon that we haven't really talked about here is Absol. Now, to be honest, I don't think you really need Absol in this deck, especially after like double Colorless into Energy got removed from GLC. It was a bit sad, because you could use like double Colorless on Guzzlord if you really had to. But like, you won't be attacking with Absol ever. It's just here for the ability Dark Ambition, which says if your opponent's active Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, its retreat cost is 1 colorless more. I just kind of like that effect. It just gives you a bit more disruption and puts a bit more pressure on your opponent to know what they're really doing with retreating. But like, as for some other options, like Yveltors are just pretty good in general. Like this one with Corrosive Winds is pretty good, especially if you're playing things like Zigzagoon to spread damage. But there's also an Yveltor, which is not shown here because I thought I owned it, but okay, apparently not. Let me just load the menu. TCG Live has been very slow today for some reason. Please load. Please. Today be good. Is that ever going to load? It did load there for a second. Not owned. Okay, there we go. Finally. Where is it? It's the one that has... Yeah, okay, it's this one. It has free retreat. So Derail allows you to discard a special energy. And then Clutch can just trap something in the active spot. But it's also like another pivot option, which is also like, I guess, sizably tanky, but again, not really. But, it's kind of like Morpeko. But I honestly prefer Morpeko as a pivot just because you can use Poffin to find it. And, it's just a bit easier. And it also acts as energy acceleration in a way. So I kind of prefer Morpeko. But, I've seen that Yveltal used a lot. So, pretty cool to see. As for the trainers, I don't think there's really much to talk about. Like, there's nothing too crazy. Like, I'm definitely not playing the trainers that some people are running, like Wishful Baton for sure. I don't think you need this in the deck. Not when, like, your main Pokemon that uses a lot of energy is Guzzlord, and you don't really need to, move 3 energy off Guzzlord. But it can be useful for just keeping a little bit of energy in play. So I do like Wishful Baton in that sense. Also got Po Town in here because, like, I kind of just like Po Town as a stadium. It's not always great, but, it can provide you with an extra 30 damage on evolution decks, so that's nice. Of course, it will damage your own evolved Pokemon, so you have to time it well, but still a very fun disruption card. Capturing Aroma, I think, maybe could be cut from the deck. Piers is a pretty good dedicated support card, allowing you to search your deck for an energy card in a Dark-type Pokemon, so that's nice to see. And yeah, we already talked about Beast Ring, so that's kind of it really for Pokemon trainers and energy. So yeah, it's been Ember Power. Let me know what you think about GLC and Dark decks in general, I guess. And yeah, thank you for watching. And then attach here. And then we'll Klara next turn for Weavile. Then I will use Severe Poison. It's a pretty long turn there, but I think we'll be okay. So he takes 40. He can heal 30 of it though, which is annoying. But we are still going to chip him away a little bit. So there's their own draw engine. So this could be Shining Arcana God of War or Gallade. So Dusclops, Xatu, yep. So like Confusion, Monkey Dory, Dusknoir deck, I guess? It's kind of a shame that we get a unique format like GLC, and of course everyone wants to play Monkey Dory Dusknoir. It's just like, it's the way things go, you can't escape it. It's just like grass types with Budew, like just getting their item locked for turn after turn. It's, yeah. Standard card design. Really frustrating sometimes. So like Replenish is a thing, fully heal Jinx, cool beans, but like Duskull and Monkey Dory are the big thing. They're like the big threats. Hello there. But like the thing is, Weezing will stop Monkey Dory and Dusclops entirely. But they're going to confuse Galarian Weezing, and I think eventually Galarian Weezing is going to get KO'd. So that's interesting. They don't attach to Indeedee, so they don't go for the confusion. That's interesting. It's not that I like disagree with it or anything. It's just... Okay, so there's Tate Liza. Do I want a Tate Liza? I don't think so, really. Like, I think I just want to Klara and start building up Spiritomb again. 10 minutes on the clock, though. I do need to, like, hurry up and try and take some prizes. It's very probable I just, you know, time out because TCG Live is very slow. I did not have another Dark Energy in there. Mustn't have done. Right, put that there. This over there. So like the timer's going down, but the game is taking ages to respond. It's really annoying. I don't think I actually have enough energy to use Beast Ring right now, even if I use Trade. So that should... yeah, okay, do that. Thank you. And yeah, I think we just end turn. So we're gradually chipping away in DD. And the thing is, right, even if they get Dusknoir online, that's not actually enough to get rid of Guzzlord in one go. So what we do want, though, so I think we just pass here, to be honest. I'll build Spite a bit more. I won't attach an energy. Might regret that. I will pass. He says, yes. End turn, please. Thank you. So this goes away, thankfully. We get a prize. The only thing that we could realistically dig for at this point is like Guzma or Beast Ring. Game is being so laggy right now. Surfer, thank you. So yeah, like Guzma or Beast Ring. But currently, as long as Weezing lives, right, my opponent can't do much. So like, yeah, they can do stuff now. But, I mean, this is probably going to be Guzzlord turn, if I can help it. So we'll get rid of... I'll get rid of Morpeko, actually. I will get rid of Morpeko. It's been a very sloppy game on my part. This could definitely be a lot smoother. Not what I wanted, though. Thing is, I don't think he has anything else. So I'm just going to attach here, actually. 90, 110. That does put me in range, but... oh, shoot. Let's not forget to do that. Although, actually, that puts me in range of Monkey Dory, so that's a bit silly. I think I'm just going to wait a turn. I think I'm going to wait because what they can do is heal Oricorio and finish off Spiritomb and then, you know, like... well, they can't really do that, but they can finish me off with Oricorio at that point. So I think we'll be okay. Is there an energy in the bin? There's not. Kind of sucks. Trade level ball. Don't need anything else. I just want to start like attacking with Guzz. There's Beast Ring. Okay, I think we can like try and wrap this up a bit. So Weezing's been a blast to use, no pun intended, but I think I'm just gonna like press Guzzlord. Because we're gonna get 2 prizes off this anyway. We have loads of other attackers. Like, I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to promote that. I will put Air Balloon on Absol just in case they stadium bump me. But yeah, we're going to get 2 prizes off this, so... And they can't, like, heal anything to finish off Guzzlord with, like, a Monkey Dory play. So yeah, I think that's the end of the game. So yeah, I think it wasn't ever correct there to just attack with Galarian Weezing. Because, like, they can just heal the chip damage with Monkey Dory. Well, like, they can finish us off with Oricorio, basically. And I don't really want to give them more time. Like, we need all the time, basically. They don't. So we take 2 prizes. Hopefully the game doesn't crash before we win the game. Huge Hound as well, but, you know, they could Iono. So I'm fairly sure this is the end of the game, but we'll see what my opponent does. They might have something up their sleeve yet. Because, like, even if this thing gets confused, right, we just retreat and use Liepard, so... Yeah, this will be the GG's, but... You never know with these things, right? I will see what these Pokemon do, though. What does Dedenne do? It's kind of similar to everything else. I like some ideas here. Like, I think Confusion with, like, Monkey Dory does Snore is, you know, it's kind of cool. It makes sense. And then using, like, Lunala to double the chip damage you do. Like, that is kind of cool. But I don't see how they can deal with everything. I don't see how they can remove all my Pokemon. So, yeah, thank you. It's a cool way to go out, though, you gotta admit.